The wind moved strangely across the Pride Lands that morning, whispering through the tall grass like voices that didn't belong to the present. Birds stopped singing. Even the sun seemed to rise more slowly, casting long shadows over Pride Rock. Down below, animals paused in their daily routines, all feeling the same quiet shiver, the feeling that something ancient was stirring. High atop Pride Rock, Kion stood alone, his tail flicking nervously as his ears twitched at sounds only he seemed to hear. At first, he thought it was the wind, but then a low, gentle rumble rolled through the stone beneath his paws. It wasn't threatening. It felt familiar, like a memory waking up. Kion closed his eyes, and for just a moment, he thought he heard a deep, calm voice calling his name. Far away, Simba lifted his head sharply. He felt it too. The past was knocking. As the day unfolded, strange things began to happen. Ancient markings on rocks glowed faintly at dawn, then faded by noon. The baobab trees creaked and leaned as if listening. Rafiki appeared unusually serious, tapping his staff against the ground and gazing toward the sky. When Kion approached him, Rafiki smiled knowingly and said that the Pride Lands were remembering. Kion didn't understand, but he felt the roar of the elders stir inside his chest, warmer and heavier than before. That night, the moon rose full and bright, bathing the land in silver light. Kion lay awake near Pride Rock, unable to sleep. The stars shimmered, then slowly began to shift, forming shapes of lions. Long gone, suddenly, the air glowed, and the spirit forms of ancient kings appeared, standing tall and proud in the sky. Kion gasped as the voices returned, not loud, but clear. They spoke together, echoing across the plains. They said the balance of the Pride Lands was being tested, not by claws or fire, but by forgetting who they were, where they came from, and why the circle of life mattered. Kion's heart pounded as Mufasa's spirit stepped forward, his eyes gentle yet firm. He told Kion that history had lessons meant to guide, not control, but those lessons were being ignored. As dawn broke, trouble arrived. From the edges of the Pride Lands came unrest. Hyenas argued among themselves. Elephants refused to move from waterholes, and even the lions of the Pride began to disagree about leadership and responsibility. Small misunderstandings grew into loud arguments. Scar's name was whispered again, not as a threat, but as a warning of what happens when the past is twisted. Simba called a gathering, his voice calm but concerned. He reminded everyone of unity, but even he could feel the tension pulling at the kingdom like invisible chains. Kion watched silently, realizing the spirits were right. The Pride Lands were forgetting their shared history. That evening, the voices returned, stronger this time. The old kings spoke directly to Kion, telling him that the land itself held memories, and when ignored, those memories rise. They showed him visions of past rulers making hard choices, of mistakes and forgiveness, of times when listening saved the kingdom. But they also warned him, if Kion relied too much on their voices, he might lose his own. History was a guide, not a ruler. Conflicted, Kion shared everything with his friends. Bunga wanted to charge in and fix things right away. Fudi suggested talking to everyone before things got worse. Besht reminded them that patience mattered. Ono, thoughtful as always, said the past could teach them how to see the present clearly. Together, they decided Kion needed to act, not as a vessel for the old kings, but as himself. The next day, the unrest reached its peak. A misunderstanding at Pride Rock caused animals to split into groups, each blaming the other for old wrongs. Voices rose. Trust. Kion stepped forward, his paws shaking, and the roar of the elders rumbled in his chest, begging to be released. But he remembered Mufasa's words. Instead of roaring, Kion spoke. He told them about the voices of the old kings, about how history was speaking again because it was being forgotten. He reminded them that every mistake in the past had been followed by growth, not endless blame. As he spoke, the wind calmed. The glowing spirits appeared one last time, not above, but behind. Kion, silent and watching. The animals listened, one by one. They remembered their shared stories, the times they had helped each other survive droughts, fires, and darkness. The spirits nodded and slowly faded, their message delivered. The land seemed to breathe again. Grass swayed gently. Birds sang. Balance returned, not because the past ruled, but because it was understood. That night, Simba stood beside Kion, pride shining in his eyes. He told his son that the greatest leaders listen to history, but choose their own path forward. Kion looked up at the stars, no longer afraid of the voices. He understood now. The old kings would always be there, not to command, but to remain. And as the moonlight bathed Pride Rock once more, the Pride lands rested peacefully, knowing that even when history speaks again, the future belongs to those brave enough to listen and wise enough to choose.